Welcome to North Idaho Experience Podcast for the people of North Idaho and those who are North Idaho curious. Hey, in today's episode, we sit down with Austin Johnson. He's our new team member on our real estate team. Austin is a veteran. He's a former cop, and he is into bronc riding right now. Also a former bull rider. We're going to talk about that, but we started out this conversation talking about Stoic philosophy of all things. We dabbled in conversation about masculinity and being good in your craft. So learned a lot about bronc riding, bull riding, and bulldogging. If you don't know what that is, stick around. You will enjoy this conversation. And if you guys are thinking about making the move up here to North Idaho, give our real estate team a call, text, or email. We would love to help you make that smooth move right here to North Idaho. Austin Johnson, welcome to the show, bro, and welcome to the team. This is a dual purpose podcast, so we are going to talk about some cool stuff that Austin's into. We're also welcoming him into our real estate team. But this podcast is not going to be about real estate. It's going to be about bronc riding and bull riding and all sorts of weird shit that Austin's into.
We're going to jump him in at some point in this podcast.
Yeah, that's part of the plan.
Yeah.
Eric, I got you a gift. This is weird because it should be like I should get a gift for the guest. I didn't get you a gift.
That's okay.
Just a spoiler alert. But I got Eric a gift. Yeah. So I wanted you to have that. It's
Dude.
my favorite translation of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. So
Dude, I appreciate it. Honestly, I had looked online to find one that I could read on the back deck because I've been on this kick. Seth and I went off on, we were talking about Stoicism a little bit, right? Because he and I have similar opinions about some of that stuff, but it's just listening to how some of the ancients used to think about life is not that much different than it is now. And I think modern translation of Stoicism has kind of gone a different direction because they're trying to remove like a providential part of the universe. So listening to how they used to think about it, it's kind of mind-blowing. And they were extremely sharp for their time.
Well, I think that's such a big misconception that people like think that 1,000 years ago people were dumber than we are now.
Right.
I don't believe that. I feel like how could we not be as intelligent as we are today then? You know, obviously as a society we've evolved and new ideas have come, but like the process of thinking, I don't feel like has changed at all.
And I think we were better in tune. Like we've gotten smarter. We have all the universal knowledge in our hand every day. But people have lost something, and whether that's critical thinking or I don't know. But philosophy really taps into that for me. And you know, like something about ancient wisdom, whether it's Greek philosophy, I also like feudal Japan or ancient Chinese,
right?
Like things like that. Like that knowledge is important. It's always been passed down, through oral tradition or written, and we've kind of lost that a little bit. And now ChatGPT is the voice of wisdom for everybody, which is weird.
It's scary.
I think you guys are 100% right, man. It's weird because when I listen to that and I picture myself in those societies back then, I think while we have all of this knowledge at our fingertips, I think people were smarter then. They had a better recognition of where their place was because they keep talking about their place in the cosmos, which always wigs me out because it's like, looking up. But they probably had a better idea or grasp of what their place was within their own family and society was. And if you learned, it was because you were learning from somebody that was either already an expert in it. And I think they spent more time deep in their own thought than allow somebody else's thoughts and entertainment to occupy your mind. So, just because they lacked all of the, video games, TV, freaking
constant stimulus, right?
Yeah.
Like I get frustrated with my kids because, and I promise we're going to talk about bull riding and stuff.
We will,
but I get frustrated with my kids because they don't know the value of being bored.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody these days understands the value of boredom, right? Boredom is what led us as kids to go out in the woods and build a fort or do whatever. If you don't have that motivation, because I can just pick up my phone and play some dumb game or whatever, you'll never push yourself out and expand your boundaries. And it's like, man, I don't know how to get that across to my kids other than being an absolute tyrant.
Take them on a sheep hunt in the Frank Church with Matt.
That was a good trip, wasn't it?
Wow. I mean, like, I remember, it's funny because, like, the first few days, right, it's pretty surreal. You're just like, in the back country.
And you don't have the option, right? There's no cell service. Not even a chance.
And then like, you're just involved. And then all of a sudden after like day 3 or 4, you're like, and you're looking for ghosts. You're looking for sheep that I'm pretty sure don't exist in there. And you're just staring off, looking at nothing, and you're bored. Like, you're bored. But it's funny what, your body then shifts and your mind into like what are priorities? Eating, surviving. So like John and I had good conversations up there. We're like, man, this is just like such a good reset, because life was simpler when you didn't have everything at the touch of your fingers. You were bored and you had to come up with things. John and I built a fort when we were up there. Like, funny story that comes full circle on that. But we built this fort up there, and like we were just bored, like keeping ourselves occupied, and like all constantly thinking about food. Like when you're in that, because our food is rationed out. And John forgot his lunches,
of course,
and I didn't pack enough calories.
Johnny.
Yeah. And so you're like counting down the minutes to when you can eat again, so you're like, you make sure you don't run out of food. And it's just like, everything just gets so much more simple.
Yeah.
And you're just taking care of yourself and surviving.
I think we all crave that. And I'm like, I often wonder, I mean, I guess at this point it would take some type of huge cataclysmic event to force us back there. But I feel like there'll be more and more people that are moving back. I mean, that's a big draw for people to come to Idaho is we're a little bit closer to that reality than the, metropolis of whatever city you might be living in now.
Well, it sounds very similar to when we had Carrie on when she was on.
Yeah.
Man.
Carrie Lee.
Yes. And talking about how hard it was to adjust back in, and it took her like a year because
she was on Alone, the show. Oh, and she made it to 75 days.
I was like, God, I thought she was in 80 something. But she was.
Then she said it took like 3 months to adjust back, or longer. Right. Was it a year?
Yeah,
it was a long time for her to kind of adjust back to the normalcy. Well, maybe this isn't normal. Maybe that was normal. I don't know. Adjust back to modern day life because she was so removed from it.
Yeah, and maybe it was because we started this talking about Stoicism and philosophy, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people will go out there and you'll do a fast for like 3 or 4 days or 5 days.
Yeah,
and that's like a physical reset. I think the opportunity to get out in the woods with no cell phones and no other stimulus would almost be another really good, I don't know, mind and body reset.
It's hard for the first day for sure. Like when I went on our cruise, I really tried to disconnect. That was last March. And just leave my phone in the room. And it took like a solid day of like, I'm like feeling weird.
The ghost vibrations.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
yeah,
right? That trips me out. I get those in my leg where I wear my phone. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Why is my leg vibrating?
Right.
I'm like, is it actually vibrating?
It's the Matrix, bro.
Like, yeah.
I firmly believe, man, you got to do hard things once a year. Once a year, once every other. Like, do something like that. Go on an epic trip or something like John and I flew into the Frank Church last year on a mule deer hunt, and like that was hard and challenging. Like, you need that in your life. You need to do something hard every year to like kind of keep yourself in check, because it's humbling. And I don't honestly, it's so fleeting. So like, you get done with a trip like that and you come out and you're like, I never want to do that again.
Right.
Like, that sucked. It was fun. And like, but then you look back, like a month or two later, you're like, man, I can't wait to go back in there. It's that fun that it's not fun during it, but it's fun after.
It's like having little kids, right?
Yeah.
And when you're knee deep in infants, it's like, oh my dear God. But then, a couple years go by and you're like, I could do that again.
I think it's like that in the freaking military.
Oh, yeah.
Like when I was in the middle of it, or go on an underway, you're like, this is the worst thing ever. This is so many dudes for so many days. And like, man, it sucks. But then you come back, and then as the years go on, you're like, those were some pretty.
Were those the best years of my life?
Yeah.
Did that shit.
They call that weird. A certain kind of fun, and I can't remember what it's called, but like second degree fun or something.
A suffering variety.
It's where it's not fun during it, but then you look back and you're like, that was actually some good memories.
Yeah, but I like that because it gives you some perspective. I was trying to explain to my teenagers, the one I usually talk about, because my other ones are too little to even discuss it with. You have to have bad days to appreciate the good ones. You have to have really shitty times to appreciate the good times. And if you roll through life and you're just, you know, at the status quo, and you're right there. Maybe it doesn't need to be like some of ours where it's like, you know, like that either, but isn't the balance trying to, you know, make the highs not as high, the lows not as low, right? Kind of ride it good. But you have to appreciate the good days you had to have had shitty ones.
Well, yeah, and like that's one thing that I struggle with and that I try to be better at every day is just being grateful. Grateful for the things I have, because I saw this quote and it was like, you know, the things you have today are what your past self wished for at one point.
Oh yeah.
You know, and so it's like, it's humbling, and like I always try to like reel myself in, because you're like, as humans and people who are driven for things, you want the next thing. You know, you're always pushing for the next thing, bigger, better, but you know, time is fleeting, and you don't get it back. You know, so it's like being grateful for what you have in that moment. And so I try to ground myself on that a lot, where I'm like,
that's good.
You know, like one day, you know, I wished for what I have right now, you know, and try to be thankful for it.
And somebody else is out there wishing for the exact life that you're living right now.
Exactly.
I've become acutely aware of the finiteness of life, because I've scheduled my first colonoscopy for next week. I am of that age. So it's coming.
Brother.
Yeah. Yeah. By the time you guys hear this out there, the deed will be done.
You will have been penetrated.
Yes.
You will have been penetrated by the time we have another podcast.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for putting it in that fashion. I appreciate that.
You want me to go with you? I'll just make awkward
Can you
eye
hold
contact.
hands with me?
Yes,
Yeah,
awkward eye
that would be
contact.
good. Maybe we should live stream podcast the whole experience.
So I had a buddy in the military who, he was a medic, and he was stationed, I don't remember where he was stationed, but he was helping this doc out, and they were doing colonoscopies that day.
Like in the field?
No, it was in the.
Oh, okay.
at
That's a
base.
submarine
Yeah,
thing,
is this,
dude.
yeah.
It's a submarine
Like, is
thing.
this actually required? Like, dude, I'm only 20. What the fuck?
So the
I don't see any. I don't see any equipment.
yeah. So he's in there. The doc is in there, and then he comes in.
When you say in there,
In the room.
Oh, okay.
The doc's in the room
That's important.
just clarifying.
with the patient, and my buddy comes in, and unbeknownst to the patient that he's there, the doc's like, you know, telling him to be quiet, and he's like, you know, whispers, has him come over, and he's like, hey, motions to put his hand on his shoulder.
Oh no!
So the doc puts his left hand on the shoulder, and then, you know, proceeds with the procedure. Insert finger here, and my buddy puts his hand on his other shoulder.
This is like the joke everybody uses, but they actually did it.
They did it
With two different hands. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it was. He said it was wild. Like, it's not okay.
Did he last 8 seconds? I mean,
I don't know, man.
It's just hang on. There's
Got
gotta
a way
be-
to bring that back around.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Like going back to the philosophy stuff, I had an epiphany 3 days ago. I was in this, and this happens, you know, it's waves of the lifestyle that we live, being entrepreneurs and business owners, and we're insanely busy. And I think I was about to hit a breaking point. I don't know what that means. If I hit a breaking point, it probably just like, whatever, go to bed early
I
that night.
saw it, dude. That's why.
Yeah, and I don't even know what the epiphany was, but I went down I was on the dock by the lake, not my dock, a dock. I don't own a dock, just in case anyone's wondering. And I laid there, and it was like 7:00 at night, and I was just like, I don't know, man. I had this weird connection to the universe, and I was realizing that I guess I had this deep understanding of the interconnectedness of everything, and then you know, realizing that all of these stupid stresses I put on myself, and I'm like, I can just take them off of myself too. And I don't know how to articulate it even, but there was a shift in the last 3 days. I've been like, I feel fucking pretty good, pretty mellow.
That is big part of what
Maybe that
what they talk about. Like, you can't control the externals, right? All you can do is control your response to it, or the way that you attack. I mean, some of the things that we tend to long stress over. There's a book out there called Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers, right? Even though they get attacked by lions and hyenas and cheetahs and all that. This should be one of the most stressful things in the world, but it's fast stress, right? Where it's fight or flight. It's
Yeah.
fight or flight's incredibly healthy. It's a necessary part of any mammal out there. But the long stress that human beings put on ourselves because of mortgage and court cases and divorce and building a business, man, I really think hard sometimes, how do I get back to just being that, probably the way you felt coming out of the Frank Church, where it's simple. Oh,
Yeah.
holy shit, I just got to eat and drink
Yeah.
and
Yes.
sustain myself. And I think that's a
Yes.
way to get back to reframing your brain around, at the end of the day, what's essential, right? That include love and family and that connection, having deep connections with people.
sure.
But yeah, it's interesting, man.
Yeah. If you can at least satisfy those basic human requirements, and then okay, that's a low bar, but it's a bar, and now everything else is external. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
That's one thing that I've worked hard on too over the last few years, is controlling that. Realizing that, and I'm a pretty laid back person. I don't get
I would
spun
agree
up.
with that.
I don't get spun up pretty easy. It takes a lot for me. I do get stressed out, but usually it compiles. Like most dudes, we just pack it away, and then
Just put that in a box.
Yeah,
Just put it in
and
a
then all of
box.
a sudden the boxes just fall over. But just realizing that the only thing that I can control in most scenarios is how I react and how I do. And parenting will challenge that to the core.
Shit, buddy.
You know what I'm saying?
I sure wish I had some of the knowledge I have now when
right.
17 years ago when my oldest was an infant. Because damn it, I look back and I'm like, fuck, I made a lot of mistakes.
Same.
But
Same.
that's
Wait till they're teenagers, bro.
right. And they say parenting is hard for the fully involved. You know what I mean?
That's a great way to look at it.
So my wife and I will look back and we'll just sit across from each other like, are we doing this right?
Yeah.
Are we making the right choices? Are we?
And the fact that you're having those conversations says that you are, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're invested. I mean, of
Yeah.
course.
I just want to raise kids that aren't going to grow up to be assholes.
That was always my number one. I had two, when my kids were infants, I had this mantra that my wife and I shared because it was hard. I was a brand new cop. I was working graveyards. My wife had no friends where we lived because we lived in Humboldt County and it was all dope growers. Anyway, it was fucking rough. And my son was colicky and he cried 23 hours out of the day. And I would just adapt this mantra of all right, tweakers can do it. Their kids survive. Maybe they're fucked up, yes, but they survive, right? And I'm okay, if a tweaker can do it, I can do it. And I could probably do it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the low bar I set. It was an easy goal to attain, but that kept me going in some dark times.
Dude, for sure. And it's all such a mindset thing, And I read this book, a couple books. I started reading Psycho-Cybernetics.
Ooh.
It's a great book. It's about how your mind works and how you process information and how you can use that to have a winning mindset kind of thing. It's an excruciating long read, and it's a tough read. So I made it halfway through. And then there's another book called With Winning in Mind. And that one is all about mindset and how to, what makes a winner a winner? What makes professional athletes or, these people who are successful, what makes that mindset? And that one's a much easier read. They kind of dumb it down a lot. It's a lot of the principles from the Psycho-Cybernetics book. But it's amazing what the subconscious mind has the power to do, and so trying to relate that into, parenting or anything, into rodeo or entrepreneurship. The biggest thing they talk about having 3 circles, right? And so your circles are self-image.
You done did it now.
Oh man, I'm in the hole and I can't remember. One of them is self-image, and then it's your ability, and then your talent, right? And all of these circles have to overlap equally and grow equally. If you look at an athlete who's got a ton of talent, a huge ego, but no self-confidence, they're not going to perform very well. Or maybe they have a huge ego, a huge self-image, but no talent. They're going to think they're way better than they are, and they're not going to succeed. So that the book talks about growing those individually, but growing them equally. And so, just as important as your talent is, your self-image has to be equally important to grow.
Yes.
Because if you don't have the mindset, and this is something I struggle with, is imposter syndrome, or like feeling like I don't add up, or like, why am I here? Like,
right.
When I got the narcotics position, I was like, okay, one of these days someone's going to figure out I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yes.
Like, why am I in this chair? Like, I don't get it. Because I just didn't feel like I added up enough, you know? And then same with like, you know, being a business owner, like when we were running the archery shop, I struggle with that a lot. I'm like, why would anybody want to come listen to me? Like, I just like bows and I like archery, and like I've devoted time to learn a lot of stuff about it, but like I don't feel like I'm an expert by any means. But taking a step back and saying like, you know what, just because I don't feel like that doesn't mean that that's the truth, you know, and like, and turning into that self-image and trying to boost that, you know, like, you know, no, I have spent a lot of time learning this stuff. I do know what I'm talking about. I may not be right all the time, but that's another thing with like being okay with not being right. Like if I'm not right and someone's like, hey, no, I don't think you're right on that. I'm like, oh, cool. Can you teach me why? You know, I'm not too proud to say that I don't know something.
There's it's such a balance of confidence, but not having a huge ego. You know, we all know somebody out there in our lives or that we've met that has like this enormous ego. And you look at him, you're like, damn, dude, like, how do you not see yourself the way it's ridiculous?
Yeah,
it's such an obvious overcompensation for something. But you have to have a belief in yourself to be successful at the same time. So there's a balance there.
And it's that positive self-talk.
That's
huge. You know, it's huge. Because if you constantly tell yourself every day that you're not good enough, or like, I can't do this, you know, he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right.
Okay, yes.
You know, like, it's so powerful. If you tell yourself enough that you can't do it, you won't do it. But if you tell yourself you can, you know, good possibility that you put the work in, that you'll be able to do it.
Yeah, I had this goal for a long time. Like I was really shy as a kid, believe it or not. My dad was super outgoing, so I was able to kind of like ride his coattails and not have to engage people. So it was always a struggle for me to be able to go into a room confidently and, you know, look everybody in the eye and feel like like I can hang. So I had this goal for a long time of like, I want to be able to go into any room, whatever it is, and just walk in there confidently, like being confident in who I am, whether I'm, you know, it doesn't matter what the room is, but just having enough belief in myself that I can go in there and just stand tall and at least represent myself in a good way.
I think that's more self-image and confidence. When you're talking about people with these huge inflated egos, what I found is when you break through some of that, if it's this big, in-your-face, I am awesome ego, their self-confidence truly isn't a reflection of that. Right. It's the opposite. If it's, you know, it's almost a house of cards. If you are that awesome, you don't have to tell everybody about it. Right.
Yes.
That's kind of been my experience, whether it's military or law enforcement, or, you know, in a lot of ways, some of the social media stuff.
Right.
Right. It's that's kind of the way that I've seen it. It's not a direct correlation. Ego and self-confidence are two completely different things.
You know where I'm going to go with this next is that I'm going to go into jiu-jitsu, because I think jiu-jitsu is like and probably any martial art, but that's the world I know, is that it is the most powerful tool I have ever found to keep the ego in check and be a humble person, because you can be a complete badass. There is always someone that's way better than you.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't matter. I have been twisted up by 160-pound dudes, and I'm 220 pounds so many times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, like, you legit, if this were life and death, you would kill me, and I outweigh you by 60 pounds. Like, what the fuck? That will open your eyes.
100%. Like, when I was training there for a little bit, and I accidentally slammed that guy, and he got mad.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I'm like brand new, but I had come from a wrestling background.
You tossed him like a bull.
And I like throws. I like throwing people. And that's not proper etiquette in jiu-jitsu. And my bad. Didn't know, but I learned quickly. And, you know, it was kind of a this for that. I did that. And then I quickly realized that this man who's quite a bit older than me and smaller than me, he hurt me.
He made you pay.
He hurt me. Yeah. He hurt me. And I was like,
in many ways.
Ooh. ego, pride, all of it, like
He heard all of it.
he heard all of it physically, mentally. Yeah. And then, but exactly, it was humbling. Yeah. You're like, man, okay.
We all need, and it doesn't have to be that, but we need something in our lives that humbles us. And like maybe it's hunting, because elk hunting is not easy. No. Even if you think you're a badass and you go up in the woods and spend a week, like maybe you get nothing. And that can be a humbling experience, or running or working out or whatever. Yeah. You got to have that. And maybe that circles back to doing hard things, because they tend to go hand in hand.
Oh, yeah. And they humble you quick.
Oh, yes.
And like circle back to that self-talk. Like one of the things that I try to implement is like, instead of saying I have to go to this meeting or I have to go do this, it's like I get to go do this. I get to go to this meeting.
And if you take that one step further, because it's easy to say that, but like not understand it. But you could go back to, hey, someone else is working their ass off to live the life I'm living right now.
Yeah,
right. And I do get to do it, and they wish they got to do it.
Yeah,
and that motivates me.
Yeah, same. Yeah, that's been a big step in the last couple of years for me, is like being grateful.
Yeah,
and trying to build that self-image too, like along with all that, with self-talk and stuff like that.
And that involves, you got to take those moments when you have them. I walked this morning, full disclosure, I went to the gym and I like bitched out, my neck's been bugging me, whatever. I went home and I was like, no, I can't leave it like that. So I put my shoes on, I walked down to the water, and I stood on the public dock there, and I was like, I stood there for like 10 minutes and I was just like, the sun was coming up. I mean, that mist over the water, some guy was fishing off to the side. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And I just sat there and I just breathed, and I was like breathing in, and this sounds so fucking hippie-ish, but like I was breathing in and my breath was like matching the universe breathing. And I was like, fucking one with this. And it was extremely motivating and extremely like satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I fully believe that we are three very masculine dudes having this conversation. And I think that is the actual embodiment of masculation. That's not a word. Masculinity.
Yeah.
I was close to another word. That's the embodiment of masculine in my definition of it is, right. You have this strength to protect, but you also balance it with love. Like you're not just violent. You can be violent.
Yeah.
But you balance it with like this deep love for your family, your community, the humanity as a whole.
Yeah.
That's a man.
Yeah. Well, what's the old saying? It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Yeah.
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 And then what you sent this morning was so freaking awesome.
Let me read that, because it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was just like a meme I found, and I sent it to the team this morning, and it says, you can't call yourself peaceful unless you're capable of great violence. If you're not capable of violence, you are not peaceful, you are harmless. And that is an important distinction. And like that is so true. I've met many people in my life that they're weak, but then they're conniving, because they find a way to achieve the same goal. They don't have the strength and the fortitude and the confidence to do it up front. Right. They sneak around the back way and do it. And that's
without
dangerous.
Virtue. You'd run into people like that in all walks of life, where it's, if you're incapable of standing on your own merit and accomplishment, and you've built that up and you can't stand on that, your only way forward is to tear the others down around you.
Yes.
So that you're left standing. And that's unfortunate, but we run into that in all walks of life.
Yeah. All walks. You're right.
At this point in my life too, like I've come to the realization that, like, if you don't, and actually Cody Alford said this to me, and it made a lot of sense. I'm like, that's right. He said he's in the same spot where like if you don't fill his cup or like bring value to your life, then why would I entertain you in my life? And to the sense, like, to clarify, not that like it's some kind of value, monetary value or whatever, but like if you're not supporting me or pushing me to be better, or being positive in my life, why would I entertain your friendship? Sorry, we're just not. I'm not going to be your friend.
it sounds cold. I'm sure
Yeah.
some people hear that. I'm like, oh, that's harsh, man. But that is the reality. We are the sum of the people that we surround ourselves with. And if you're surrounding yourself with shitty people, I can guarantee your life sucks. If you're the person out there, or many people that make nasty comments on our YouTube channel, your life probably is miserable. Because why would you take the time to go do that? I don't ever take the time to go do that.
Because some people try to fill up their cup by taking water out of yours.
That's it.
That's
Instead of going to get their own and earning their own,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If they can get a huge rise out of you, or piss you off, or take you off your game, or chink away at your self-confidence, that's filling their own cup.
That's exactly it, dude.
I know. It's wild though, dude. And I don't think we're alone in that when you're talking about like being confident and being capable of violence, but also being completely at peace, right?
Right.
It's like that with animals too. It's wild. Like you look at a dog, you look at a canine that's capable of extreme violence as a patrol dog and can go home and exist with kids that are 2 years old, 4 years old, pulling on their ears, pulling on their hair. That animal is extremely confident in its own position and where it sits in the world, capable of absolutely eradicating flesh.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Right? But other dogs, you walk in where they're skittish, they're not confident, their owners don't have them as part of the pack, they don't know their role. Those to me are the most dangerous ones, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not confident. Everything is a flip of the switch. And that's where I think you go back to humans, that they here be capable of violence. I'm not talking about going and shooting something up, right? Like you're capable of it in those right moments, but they get desperate and they're walking this fine line and that edge, and then they go out and wage violence against people that can't protect themselves.
Yeah.
The cowards are all right. Like when I hear that, like be capable of violence, that's like in protection of myself or my family or somebody I love, right? Like if I see something bad happening to somebody, that I'm going to inflict violence on the person that's taking advantage of that victim, right?
Yep.
That's what I see it as.
It's for the power of good, right?
Yeah.
Because I see more and more. I mean, looking back on history, it was apparent the good versus evil. Growing up, I didn't see it as much, but now I see it becoming a thing again. Like there seems to be evil prevalent in the even in our country, and it's strange. So yeah, I think the capacity for violence to protect whatever is good in the world is important and noble. Have you ever read the book Rules for a Knight? Knight?
No.
Oh, I know the next book I'm getting you guys. It is a small green book. It looks very Bible-ish, but it's not. It's fiction, but maybe not. It's kind of unclear, but it's just little stories, like little parables, like how we've transferred knowledge throughout human history. And they kind of highlight right and wrong. I'm being very vague here, but I want you to go read the book. So I had this book when my kids were young, and I've read it to them multiple times. I've read it myself multiple times. I loaned my last copy out. It's in the cosmos somewhere. I haven't gotten it back. I don't know where it is, but really good book. So I highly recommend, especially with young kids. And the stories are entertaining, and they have an underlying lesson of good versus evil.
Well, I like that.
But it's cool. But it's like it's seen through the eyes of this guy's grandfather, who was a knight, and the various situations that he was involved in that process. And it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Good book for the kids if you're out there listening. Are you going through a midlife crisis?
No.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
I wondered that.
I don't know.
So you were in the past a professional bull rider, correct?
No.
Okay. You were amateur?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still, that's 10 times more bull riding than I've done in my life. I did ride a cow once when I was like 7. My parents had a friend, and they had, it's like a vague memory, but they had this cow, and I remember it was in this very small pen, and it was standing by the fence. And I was like, I think I can get on its back. So I jumped on its back, and I immediately found myself on the ground and terrified. I did not get stepped on, but that was my sole experience riding the back of, and it was a cow, not even a bull.
Well, so I don't know. It started for me when I was little. I used to love to watch the movie 8 Seconds. Was my favorite movie to the point where, like, my buddy and I, my neighbor, we would dress up as cowboys, and then we'd do the dance from the wedding scene in in 8 seconds with Lane. And
Like before TikTok was even cool. You
yeah,
guys were
so
doing it.
I mean, we would have been famous for sure.
That's pretty legit.
But the mailman thought it was hilarious, so he enjoyed watching.
You and John do that now still. I feel like that's
Only when they're in the
possibility.
Frank Church
Yeah.
by
Yes,
themselves.
yep.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's for our eyes only. So I didn't grow up in a rodeo family by any means. Didn't grow up with horses or anything. I grew up in town. Well, we moved into town when I was like 5. So I wasn't around it, but I always loved that culture, like the cowboy way of life, the Western way of life. So played sports throughout high school.
Probably tennis, right? You look like you're built for tennis.
Yeah. No, I did wrestling, lacrosse, and
shit.
football, and loved playing that stuff. And then graduated and was like, I just have this itch to rodeo. And again, so we weren't really involved in it. So like I didn't do 4-H or anything like that. And so then I got online and I asked around and I was like phoning a friend and I was like, hey, does anybody know where I can go get on a bull? And came down to this place in Nimrod, Minnesota, Troy Meach, Meach's Bucking Bulls. He's a stock contractor, and every Wednesday he would buck out bulls. And so I gathered up whatever equipment I could find on like eBay and stuff because Facebook Marketplace wasn't a thing. And I got some gear together, and oh my gosh, these shafts that I had were freaking wild. Like it looked like a quilt. It was like patchwork. Yeah, they were
Worn.
They were wild. Yeah.
I made you look legit though, I'm sure. Right?
I don't know.
Like, this guy's been riding for years.
I felt like I got like everyone's like, where does this guy get his stuff? Goodwill? Like, dang.
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I showed up and I'm by myself and they're starting to load bulls into the chutes and I'm standing back behind them and they start these 3 bulls they load in. One's a smaller bull, then this one in the middle chute was gigantic, and then there was like another smaller one. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get on one of those little ones. So I go to put my rigging on the first one, and by the time I get there, the guy's already there putting his rigging on. I'm like, shoot. So I look down the line to go to the other small one, and there's a dude that one too. And I was like, and then nobody is standing at this big one. So I'm like,
good sign, bro.
I was like, somebody knows something here.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So I stepped back and I'm standing back. I'm like, I'll just wait till they load another run of bulls in. So I'm standing there and one of the hands working there, he's like, hey, you riding tonight? And I'm like, yep. He's like, well, come on, get on this one. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to wait till I get a smaller one. It's my first time. And he's like, don't be a puss. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm in. Okay.
Yeah.
So
All right.
we're doing the damn
Yeah.
thing. All right. So yeah, I get up there
Don't
and
be a puss.
fumble through getting all my stuff on and climb down on the back of this sucker. And I mean, he blew out of there and I hit the dirt fast. I don't even think the gate was all the way open yet. And that bull blew out of there and I was on the ground. But, they say the first time you do it, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. And you'll never do it again. Well, I loved it. I was like, that was freaking wild. It's like being on the back of a tornado.
Yeah.
And so that was it. I got the bug and I just I started practicing. Looking back, I think I did love it, but I don't think I loved it enough. I had so many other things that was going on with, like, I was in the military and I don't know. I didn't give it the attention that it deserved. I was just more doing it because it was cool and I liked it. And I didn't see I didn't give myself the grace of like seeing a future doing it.
Yep.
So I never really truly put in a lot of work as much as I could have. And so I rode on the amateur level for, oh gosh, five or 6 years. Nothing serious. Like I was
Sounds fairly serious, to be honest.
I was staying local, like just going to local rodeos, not traveling super far. I would go down to like Iowa and stuff, but like nothing, like I wasn't traveling all over doing it. And like I said, I was still in the military. So that was like, I was just back and forth like, well, I don't really want to, I didn't know what would happen if I got messed up bull riding, how the military would.
Well, what you do is you keep it together until you get back to
Just
base.
gotta limp your way
And
back.
then you
dude.
fall out of your car like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
Oh no! Get to that FTX,
I fell
the
down.
first movement, and you're like, oh,
Yeah. So you broke your back, your femur, and your ankle getting out of your car. You're like, yeah, it was wild.
yes, sir, as well.
Yeah. Great.
No,
Yeah.
so I did that. Well, you know, I did okay. Like, I mean, it finally, you know, I was able to cover a few and have a good time doing it. And I remember, and this will kind of correlate later when we talk about bronc riding, but there's a learning curve, right? And I tried to set myself up. I went to a bull riding school, and that was like 2013 when I went to that, because it was shortly after I got home from my deployment. And that's when things started clicking for me quite a bit more. I did that, and I was really trying to get into it more. And I remember when I finally covered a bull for the first time, and like I felt like I was doing everything right. And I remember having the conscious thought and being like, holy shit, I'm doing it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not getting thrown on the ground right now. Like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And it was so cool. And then shortly after that, we got pregnant with our daughter. And then it was like,
That changes things, huh?
yeah. Then it was like, look, I'm not doing this professionally. I'm donating more money than I'm making. You know, I'm beating myself up. I need to go get a real stable job. You know. So then I went back to school and got my degree in criminal justice, and then went into law enforcement. But yeah, the bull riding stuff was awesome. It was good.
It's more dangerous than bronc riding. Is that why you're not getting back into bull riding?
Yeah. I mean, it's way harder on your body. The wrecks
that's
are
a way bigger animal, huh?
Yeah. Well, the horses are big. I mean, but the bulls are just meaner. You know, like they're out there, they got a job, and they'll try to hook you or step on you, and it's just how you get bucked off on bulls.
It's amazing people then get hurt more doing that when you look at all the possibilities.
Oh yeah. Well, there's
Fucking horns flying around and
people get messed up all the time.
real good.
I know. Sorry.
You owe everybody a cupcake.
We should have a deal. Everybody a shot. What time is it? 9 in the morning. Let's go.
God, damn, no.
Jeez.
No.
So what is the worst injury you got doing that?
Broken ribs. I made it out
Pretty clean.
pretty clean. Yeah. Like I said, I was doing it, but I wasn't going as hard as a lot of people were doing it. You know, I was doing it, you know, I was maybe going to practice pens once or twice a month, and then like going to like 2, maybe 3 rodeos a month for the summer run, like, you know, between June, July, and August.
Are there any mechanical bulls up here?
Yeah.
It's state line.
State line have one?
I think they do.
It's showgirls.
I wouldn't get on the back of that one.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to have a team
Slide right.
team
Okay.
mechanical bull ride.
Yeah.
Like I'm not getting on a real one at this point in my life, but I'd ride the old mechanical one.
Yeah.
So the funny thing about mechanical bulls is like just how they buck and like how they move is
Not
so unnatural. Like that's why, like, I mean, you can practice on them, sure, but like you don't get that actual feel. Like most of the practice machines now have like a rear pivot point because that drop is realistic, right? When that bull breaks over and drops,
And that's when
you
you gotta
get that's when you
lean
get
way back.
that feeling, yeah. And so like.
And you can't like recreate the feeling of this 1,000-pound testosterone fueled nightmare between your legs.
No.
Like that's not.
No, but if you can get the
2,000
motion
pound.
right, and you're just practicing your basic fundamentals, because that all correlates to down the road when you're riding.
Dude, it's got to be nuts sitting on top of that thing in the chute, and it's like snorting, and your whole just like, and you can feel like the anxiety in the bull, and you're like, all right,
I mean, like at that point, you're both just like ready to go do your job. Like that bull loves what it does.
I'm gonna fuck you up, boy.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, let's go.
And you're just like, hell no, dude, I'm gonna spur your ass down. You know, like you just get it. It's definitely a different mindset. You have to like put out the fact that, you know, what could happen. You know, you just have to try and ride them jump for jump. And when you're, you know, 18, 19, 20 years old, that's easier to do. you know, now as I've come back into rodeo and gone away from bull riding and wanted to do the saddle bronc riding, that's a challenge for me. Like being 35 and like being behind the chutes and being like, what are you doing? You know, like I love it. And I love the road. The reason I got back into rodeo is because like I was away from it for so long, doing other things, and I've just been drawn back to it. And I can't help but think that there's a higher power involved in getting me back there, because like everything happens for a reason. To me, like I look back and, you know, it's easy to say, oh, this happened and man, what a bummer. Like, oh crap. Like with the archery shop, like and everything that happened, you know, it's like, man, well, I moved my whole family out here from Wisconsin, started this thing up. 2 years later, now it's gone. Like now I don't have it anymore. And then it's like, man, why? You know, like why? I really love doing this. But then like I had to sit back and be like, look, it's not in my hands. Like I have to trust that there's a plan. And like when a door opens, you just got to step through it and have faith, you know, and like trust that something else is at work here. And so I just have to think that there's something like that happening here. That's why I got to be back in rodeo, like because I belong there. Like
we talked about that yesterday, and you had mentioned the culture and the people, and I get that. We go to that.
I can see that being a huge draw.
When we go to the concert in the dirt every year at the fairgrounds here, it's like my favorite thing of the year. Dave said it last year. He's like, you looking around, you just see all the people, and you're like, these are like fucking people. I don't know these people, but they're my people.
Salt of the earth people, like
and they're the kind of people that like you'd see at a rodeo.
Yeah, that's what drew me, and that's what kept me around the rodeo for so long, and then has drawn me back to it. It's just the people. Everybody that I know and have been involved with in the rodeo is just awesome. They love the sport. They love what it represents. You know, it's when you go to a rodeo, it's God, country, family, like, and just everybody's there because it's Americana. You know, it's been around for hundreds of years. Like, it's awesome. And then you go back behind the chutes, or whether you're in a rough stock event or a timed event, like everybody just wants to help everybody. You know, for the most part, like.
I just got this great picture of dudes sitting around 200 years ago, and they're like, hey, fucker, I'll bet I can ride that longer than you. Right? You know what I mean? Like
that's how it started.
That's how it started.
So saddle bronc riding is the original sport. Like, so that people, you know, guys sitting around were like, they got this nasty colt over here that needs to be broken. They're like, all right, who can stay on it the longest, you know?
They did. Dude.
Yeah, and it just, that's where it started. And then some guy down the road was like, we should get on bulls too, you know? Like, and then, you know, you look at every event in rodeo and it has some relation to, you know, Western ranch life or whatever, whether that's tie down roping, team roping, steer wrestling, it's saddle bronc riding. I mean, obviously bull riding is definitely not a ranching event. But
there's such a drawback to that nowadays, I feel like, and I don't know, I always joke about Yellowstone, the show, but like, I don't know if that probably started a lot of it, but you meet so many people that kind of want to get back to that lifestyle. And maybe it's just chickens, and that's fine. But you know, getting back to your roots and older values is such a draw, and it feels so good to have that.
I think Yellowstone caught a lot of flack and like, there's a lot of people that were like, oh, now everybody wants to be a cowboy, everybody wants a ranch or whatever. Like, what's so wrong with that?
Right. And they don't have to do it to whatever level. Like I said, maybe you just have 6 chickens in the backyard and that's your version of it. And that's awesome. You're getting eggs for your family. Good for you.
Our society could use a little bit more of that. I think my most relaxing place currently, I loved it the other day because I can't hear my phone at all, is I love like taking down trees, living my own, like you're out there, you got those on and you just zone out. Like there's something so satisfying. You're sweaty, you're dirty. Right. And I love every bit of it. And you go work a ranch. It's the same thing. You go put in a 12, 14-hour day.
Yeah. That's why those guys love it, man.
Yeah, it's satisfying.
There's guys that'll spend their whole life just, you know, being being a day worker on a ranch or
Right.
being a worker. And
you're not
Yellowstone,
rich with
right?
money, but you're rich
in
a
life.
lot of other ways.
When you see things that no other people see, you're
Yeah.
up there at the crack of dawn at 4:20, 4:30 in the morning, the sun's coming up over a spot, and you just wonder what other humans, how long ago, have the same view that you do.
Wait till you get a tractor, bro.
Dude, I
It's
can
gonna
rock a
it
tractor.
change your life.
rock
When you own a tractor, you've
Yeah.
hit a next level. And like,
Yeah, I believe that.
I may have a small tractor, but I've got a tractor. And like, when you get on the back of that thing and you just go do some work, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like I have
it's so
10x,
satisfying.
I have 100x my ability to do whatever.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's
You
like,
just thicken
yeah.
that man
fucking
card
easy.
up.
Oh yeah.
I've increased my testicle size by at least 17% as soon as I got on this thing, dude. Which might not be good in your sport, right? I feel like I would rack those, dude.
No, so there's a huge misconception when it comes to bull riding that, speaking of testicles, that there's some way, shape, or form that the bull's testicles are tied up and that's why they're bucking.
Oh.
And is the farthest from the truth. Like, if you think about it, if you're a dude and you're listening to this, right, and like you're like, oh, they tie up their nuts. If somebody were to come up to you and tie up your testicles, I'm not moving.
No.
I'm like,
Yeah, good point.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So what it is, it's a cotton flank rope. So there's just a cotton rope that gets tied around their flank, so right in front of all that stuff. And what it is, it's tied on tight enough that it's not going to fall off, but it's loose enough where they think they can kick it.
Yeah.
They're trying to kick that off.
Right.
And then anymore, man, I mean, there's some bulls that'll buck without one because they're just, the breeding programs now for bucking bulls is getting insane. Like the genetics, and I mean, they're breeding these bulls are bred specifically to do what they do.
You said it before, and I felt that when you said they love it. It's just like a canine that loves to be a patrol dog and occasionally shred some flesh, right? Of a real bad guy. They live for it. It's like their ball drive. Like there's something in that animal. It's like, all right, here I've been waiting for this.
They get in the chutes and they know what's about to happen next. Like they're like, it's time for business. Like and like people are like, it's inhumane, and like, man, those stock contractors take care of those animals. Like
They eat well, huh?
Oh my gosh, that's their bread and butter. That's how they make their living, and they're gonna take as much care of those horses that they can, or those bucking bulls, or whatever stock it is, whether that's the roping calves or the steers. Like they want them to be healthy.
Picture that life as a bull. You're eating good. I'm sure they're farming them out to impregnate some
Stud-
ladies quite a bit.
Fees,
And you get to toss some cowboys. Like, God damn, that's a good life right there.
Yeah, I mean, like compared to some cows that just exist, you know, like these bulls have a job, you know. Same with the horses, right?
There's
like
special operations bulls, dude. You just
are.
get out here and you do work for 10, 12 seconds.
exactly.
Yeah.
What? Now you're getting into wrestling.
So I wanted to get back into rodeo, but I didn't want to do bull riding. So I'm like, but I still had this itch to get on something that was bucking. And so I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll try this saddle bronc riding thing. Like most guys do it. There's a little more longevity in it. It's not as dangerous it's still dangerous, but compared to like getting tossed down in the well on a bull that's spinning around and getting your head stomped on, it's definitely a bit further from that. But the learning curve for it is a lot longer and steeper. Just because with saddle bronc riding, there's so much more technique to it, and I'm just in the bowels of learning it all and getting thrown off into the dirt every time. I've been on 16 horses now in my first year, and every one of them has been getting thrown in the dirt. But it's just I'm just trying to humble myself and like stay grounded, and like it's a process. It's a numbers game. Lots of guys have told me like, look, you just got to keep getting on, and eventually it'll start clicking. You know, after about 30, you might start just at least making the whistle. It's not going to be pretty, but at least you'll be in your saddle the whole time, and you'll get off on the pickup man instead of getting lawn darted into the dirt. And so just trying to stay positive in it, and like, okay, I know there's a process, and I just have to keep building on it. And I know that, it's not going to come easy. I just have to keep working. And so like one of the things you can do is practice on a spur board. So it's just two pieces of plywood that are kind of at an angle. You put your saddle on it, strap it down, and you're just focusing on lifting on your bronc rein and setting your feet, just whack, and then dragging them back, and then whack, and then dragging them back, and it just, you're building that subconscious mind, that muscle memory, so that when it does come, you're not thinking about it. Like I had one ride, and I remember having a conscious thought, like, holy shit, I'm still in the saddle. Kind of like with bull riding, I was like, oh my God, I'm doing it. But like, I thought about it, and then I got bucked off.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had that thought, I'm like, oh, I'm still on it. And then I got bucked off. And so I'm just kind of working through that, and just trying to get on as much as I can.
Yeah.
Because I know that at 35, like, I don't feel 35. I don't feel like I look like I'm 35. I just, like, I try to take care of myself and stay healthy. And that's why I did this. I was like, at the end of the day, I believe I'm an athlete, and I can do it. Now, that is a fleeting thought when I'm laying in the dirt afterwards, and I'm like face full of dirt, and I'm hurting, and I'm like, what did I just do? But I don't know. I just keep going back for more. Like, I love it. But so getting through that learning curve, right? And like I said before about rodeo, like, there's just people that want to help, and people who are willing to help the next group of guys get started. And so when I decided I was going to do it, I was volunteering with the Gem State Rodeo Committee and helping out at the rodeo here in town, and got to meet some awesome people. And there's a local guy in the area, Tate Owens, who's been riding broncs for, 12 years. Like, he's been doing it for a long time, and he's good. And he's my age, actually. He's like 30. Actually, he might be a couple years older than me. And so I reached out to him, and then I met him at the rodeo last year at Gem State, and he's like, well, come on out to my house, and I got some saddles, like, you can get you started on one, and I'll just help you out and help get you going. And he's been awesome.
That's
like
cool.
Him, and then there's another Tim Dietrich who lives here, and he's another bronc rider, and he's great. And those two have just been so helpful in getting me going, and a couple other guys in there, or one other guy, my buddy Sam, and just so helpful. Like, and I ended up buying my permit for the PRCA, for the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association, so I could enter pro rodeos, only because I wanted to get on more horses, and there's not a lot of amateur rodeos around here where you can just you don't have to be a card member or anything to get in. And so I did that, and I'm at a lot of these rodeos with Tate and Tim, and we're back behind the chutes, and they're just helping me along.
That's so
like,
cool.
just being,
That's
they're
that
right
culture
there.
again, yeah.
Like, they're right there, and they're just like, hey man, they're helping me get the saddle set and working through all that stuff. And then, I'm climbing on there, and they're just like encouraging me. And then afterwards, like, ask them how it goes, and they're like, no, great mark out. You're just, you did that. Here's what happened. You got out of position, or you got lifted up out of your seat or whatever. He's like, you just got to lift and stay back. And they're super helpful. And at the premise of it, like, bronc riding, lifting and staying back is what you want to do. Lift on your bronc rein, not pull on your bronc rein, and stay back. But it's a hard concept to,
because they kick and
through.
they're like, ass end goes up, so you need to lean back into that.
And there's just so much forward motion because they're
Is that how you get buck? Usually you'll go over the front.
No, I usually go out the back, and so what that is I'm losing the pressure in my stirrups, so I'm just not lifting and sitting my butt down in the saddle. I'm just kind of getting lifted up, and so that's just going back to the spur board. And man, it goes back to that book I read, with winning in mind, because your subconscious mind can't differentiate.
Differentiate. There you go.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Nailed it.
Oh, got it. Didn't. It can't differentiate between a real experience and a vividly imagined experience. So they talk about this book where they're doing this study with college students, and they have them up there, and they told them to imagine that your hand is in a bucket of ice water. So they're sitting there, And all these students have to close their eyes and like just vividly imagine that their hand is in a bucket of ice water. And then the teacher went around and measured the temperature of their hand, and the temperature dropped in their hand.
That's wild.
So they imagined it, and their body had a physiological response to imagining that.
It's wild because this gets into like force science stuff.
Yeah.
And you were talking about it with Bronc riding, and I couldn't help but think about when you try to set up trainings for law enforcement, you're trying to establish a schema, right?
Yeah.
Where your brain has been there before. So when you respond to this stimulus, you can bypass the reason part of your brain and just go to a reaction. Because the whole time I'm thinking about you doing that, and like you're watching for indications of how it's going to kick or directions, and watching muscles tense or feeling it, but it's not fast enough. So you'd have to train it to where that schema is already in place, right? And it's wild when you get into law enforcement training. It's the same thing where your brain has to develop, like you kind of have to develop those pathways prior to.
The OODA loop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
otherwise, you're behind the curve already, and your brain fills gaps, man. This thing isn't a camera. It's not a video. It fills gaps. Where there's a void of information, it fills it. So it's wild when you start getting into that, how powerful your brain is. And that's why visualization, like I imagine before you go out there, you've run that through your head like several times going, okay, and you're closing your eyes, and you see elite athletes do that all the time.
Yeah, they talk about that in that book. That book is amazing, and it just like opens your eyes about like how powerful your subconscious mind is.
Yeah,
because your conscious mind can only focus on one task at a time.
Right.
Your subconscious mind can be doing a million things at a time.
Oh yeah.
That's why people can multitask so well, right? Like they've just done it so many times that their brain can do it without thinking. Same with like if you go to pick up a pen. Like you don't have to think about picking up a pen. You've done it so many times. You just like grab the pen and you're writing. You're not like consciously thinking about that, because you could be having a conversation and just grab a pen and start writing.
I noticed it so frequently in law enforcement. Like if I needed my gun in my hand, it was already in my hand.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, damn, I don't even remember pulling that out.
Yeah.
It's just there.
Yeah.
Or you go back and watch like body camera of an incident, and you're like, I don't remember doing that at all. It's exactly what I wanted to do.
Exactly.
But I have no recollection of me making a conscious decision to do it.
10,000 repetitions of drawing my gun.
In the most elite levels, you ever watch the dudes like Blue Angels?
Oh,
You ever watch the guys, they sit in a room and they all close their eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And they're sitting there like this, and they're all together sitting at a table, and they just go through it, and they're like, everybody's doing the same movements.
And you can see their hand just making the subtle movements on the stick.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's so cool.
And it's so
that's
powerful.
Also, and then by the time they get up there, their brain's like, we've done this 1,000 times.
They don't have to think about it. They're just doing it.
Yeah.
Same with us. It's the same with any elite sport or professional sport, or any sport for that matter. Like I would, jujitsu, right? Like you you do the move a million times, and and you practice it, and then when that opportunity, when your brain's like, oop, there it is, I see it, you just hit it.
Which is the ultimate expression, and it's actually like for jiu-jitsu especially, that's when it becomes really fun. When you're brand new, it's like you have to think through everything, but when you get to the point where it's like completely subconscious and you're flowing in the moment, that's when it becomes meditative. I think that's when probably like any sport, that's like that flow state, when it becomes meditative and very enjoyable.
Yeah. Well, you talk like some bronc riders will say, like, you get a good horse that's got good timing, and you're in time and everything's flowing and you're just hitting everything right. It's like being in a big rocking chair. It's just you're just hitting that. You're hitting your mark out, then you're bringing your feet back, and then as that horse is coming up, your feet are back, and then as it breaks over, you're firing your feet to the front and just riding that down, because in bronc riding, you get scored. It's 50 to the horse, 50 to the rider. And they're each scored on both sides, the left side, right side, by a different judge. And what they're looking for is timing. They want a horse to have good timing. They want it to kick over its head. So if it's got a lot of empty kicks, it's just kicking straight back or not, like it's not going to score as high. And then what they're looking for the bronc rider is control, right? They want to see you have good rein control. Your toes are pointed out when you're hitting your, firing your feet to the front. Your toes are pointed out, and you kind of get scored at how easy you make it look. It's the same in the bull riding.
That's crazy. It's the hidden details, right? I could watch that and I would have no idea what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And then, someone in there who knows the game is watching and sees all these little details, and the hidden details are what matter.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I'm using a lot of jiu-jitsu analogies. I'm sorry, but
Correlates.
I was rolling with a guy recently, same belt as me, like equally matched, my boy Nate, and like we have stalemates constantly, and it came down to my foot was like dorsiflexed over his leg on one side, and I needed to get it to the other side, and he was blocking it with his toes, and like the entire stalemate was a battle of fucking toes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, anybody that was watching that would be like, well, that's dumb. This is boring. But they didn't realize there was like a fucking war going on over these feet.
The smallest.
That little detail, like the hidden details, are what matters.
Yep.
Same in that sport.
And
apparently.
you watch the guys that are like the top 20 guys in the world are amazing bronc riders. And you watch those guys at the elite level, like down at the NFR, and man, is it pretty when you watch. Like I never, when I was bull riding, didn't really care too much about the bronc riding. Like I didn't watch it much and didn't, I was just like, I'm a bull rider. I don't care what anybody else is doing. But now as I've gotten into it, and now I notice those small things. So now when I watch a ride, I'm like, oh, that's so pretty. Like it's something so
that picture that Renee put of you on our go to North Idaho Experience on Instagram. Check out our page there. And Renee, Dave's wife, did an intro of Austin to the team, and there's a picture of you on a Bronc.
Yeah,
that was a fucking great.
Yeah,
picture.
it does
That
look
was a
cool.
great
It looks
picture.
cool.
I got a couple that's right before I got bucked off.
That's okay.
So,
That's okay. We don't know that.
Yeah.
But like
that's probably like that beautiful image you're looking for is like that's iconic. I don't know shit about Bronc riding, but I look at that, I'm like, yeah, that's it.
You see some good pictures, right? Like, and I can't wait to get to there. But like that horse is, stretched out. Its legs are back over its head, and its front feet are on the ground, and the horse is just stretched out. And then you got that bronc rider on there, and his reins out in front of him, his chin's tucked down, his toes are just planted in its neck, and he's just like, wow. And it looks so, oh man, it's so cool. You're like, man, that's sick.
Yeah.
But it just comes, it just comes with time and practice and, going through the steps. But I've always been big for rough stock. Like, so as a bull rider, I was big. At my lightest, when I got home from my deployment, I was 185 pounds. And that's still really big for a bull rider.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A lot of the guys that do it well and compete at a high level are, probably about my same height, but they're, 130, 120 pounds.
I guess
they're
it's not
small.
It's like riding horses almost.
Yeah, you're not going to out-muscle the bull, so
No,
the muscle doesn't mean shit, huh?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
like it's balance, it's athleticism, it's all of that. And when you talk about like your center of gravity, right? Like smaller guys, lighter guys have a lower center of gravity, and it's easier for them to make the corrections, right? Like, not that I can't do it, it's just I have to work harder at it than, a guy who's a lot lighter. Because when that bull's spinning into your hand or whatever, and inertia is trying to throw you this way, that bull's spinning and it's pushing you out this way, so you have to make the move to come over into the inside every time. I have to pull over 100 pounds to get myself back into the center, whereas a smaller guy has to pull over a lot less weight.
Right.
And so if you're smaller and strong, like it's definitely it can be a better combination for sure.
It requires less effort. Right.
Yeah. And then same with the bronc riding. Well, the bronc riders that are really good, I'm big. I'm big for a bronc rider. I probably got 60 to 80 pounds on a lot of the guys that are going, they're, and it does make it a little more challenging. Not that it's out of the realm, like I'm still going to do it. But I've been told a lot that, hey man, you look like a bulldog or steel wrestler.
That sounds cool.
Excuse me. So I've, in the last year too, have kind of been like, oh man, that steer wrestling looks pretty fun.
Yeah.
That looks like something I'd be good at. Those guys all look like me. They're big dudes. And, they call it the big guy sport of rodeo, or the linebackers of rodeo,
Right.
And I'm like, okay. So I started looking at that. I went to a shoot dogging school. So in steer wrestling or bulldogging, the horse comes out of the roping, or the steer comes out of the roping chute. You have a hazer on one side, and then you have the bulldogger on one side. And as they come out, you're riding side by side on horseback, and the job of the hazer is to keep that steer running straight, and then your job is to dismount your horse onto the back of that steer, jump the steer, and then throw him. And
It's completely insane.
Madness.
First of all,
Sounds awesome.
So in shoot dogging, it's the same concept. You're still throwing a steer. You're just not jumping off horseback. You're just taking them right out of the chute and then going with them and then throwing them. And there's a lot of technique to it. And so I went to this shoot dogging school, and I had a blast. Like because it felt like wrestling, right? Like, and I loved throwing people. Hence why I did it in jiu-jitsu. I got yelled at.
I got beat up.
I got beat up. But like, there's this technique. So I'm learning all this stuff, and it's balance, and it's, I don't know. There's something so cool about when you get hooked up right, slide a little bit, and get that momentum coming around, then grab the nose and then just throw, and that steer just flips over.
I mean, are these full size? Or they?
Yeah, there's 600-pound steers.
Fuck.
On the heavier end. Then I mean, they earlier in the year they're a little lighter. They'll might be around 400 pounds. But
I watched some video of it might have been you. Did I see that? Like maybe anyway, whatever. And I saw the throw, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's like judo, man. Like, like very much. You're using the same techniques.
Yeah, and the best thing, like, you're using that steer's momentum and technique to do it. Because there's small guys that do it. Like, there's a guy, his name's Rowdy Parrott. He's a smaller dude, and he makes it to the NFR almost every year. And it's all about technique. I mean, obviously now in that sport, I would have a little bit more of an advantage, kind of like the smaller guys do in the rough stock, where, I might not have to work as hard or be as perfect because I can make up with
you can muscle it a little bit. Yeah,
you can. Whereas like a smaller guy in steer wrestling his technique has to be perfect. So that's kind of where I'm at in the bronc riding. It's like my technique has to be really good because I'm a bigger dude. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so then going back to like the community of rodeo, right? So I'm helping out at the Gem State Rodeo. It's slack performance on Sunday, which the slack is anybody who doesn't get into the main performances for the night. They put them in the slack, or some people just like doing the slack because it's pretty chill. It's on a Sunday. Like there's no crowd, there's no lights, there's no noise. It's just, you just do your job. So I'm helping out with that. And there's like 60 some steer wrestlers that are in the slack on Sunday. And I'm talking like some big names. I mean, like JD Struckness, Jesse Brown, Tyler Wagons Pack, like all guys that are just monsters in the game. And they're all just so friendly. Like I'm a guy who knows nothing about steer wrestling. I just want to get into it. I want to get started. And so I had caught Jesse Brown as he was walking out, and I was like, "Hey man, my name's Austin. I'm a local guy here in the area. I'm just looking for looking to get into steer wrestling. You got any pointers?" And like just trying to get out doing it. He's like, "Oh, heck yeah, man." He's like, "You look like a bulldog." Sweet. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. And I love the bronc riding. I'm going to keep doing the bronc riding, but I also want to do something. I want to try that too. And he was just super helpful. I mean, he was like, "Hey man, like it's pretty busy right now for us. We're running up and down the road, but like come October, you're more than welcome to come practice with us down at my place." He's like, we'll teach you everything we know and help you out. And again, it's just like, he doesn't have to do that. Like this dude he's going to the NFR in December. Like he's going to the Super Bowl. And like, I'm just a small fish, but
that's cool though.
It's just like, it's a community and people, and they want the sport to continue. So like,
I think what it is too, it's a humbling sport.
Yeah.
So it's same with like martial arts, for example. Again, like the baddest dudes I've ever known are the chillest, nicest people because they don't have shit to prove, man.
Right.
It's like same with these guys.
Yeah.
Those have got to be some tough ass dudes. That is not
a
normal fucking thing for humans to do, is to go wrestle a 600-pound steer.
No.
And I'm sure they've had their ass kicked many a time.
Oh yeah.
So you come into it like just completely humble.
Yeah.
That's good. Do hard things, kids. Go fucking wrestle steer.
Do it. Well, and then so much of it in rodeo it's the draw. It's it's you against you. It's not you against the other people. Mm-hmm. When it comes to bronc riding or bull riding or any event, you're not really competing against the other people. Like it is, sure, it's a competition, but everybody is usually like, if they have a bad run, they're up there like, freaking go get them. Like do better than me, you know?
Yeah.
And really the only person you're competing is with is who you were your last run.
Right.
And doing better than that the next time. And so everybody's just so helpful. Like, especially like I noticed it like in the steer wrestling, those guys are like just a huge family. Like it's just a bunch of good dudes that like support each other. And then like in
God,
in
I hate to
bull
get
riding,
a fight with one of those dudes. Holy shit.
Yeah. Like
Just
they're
tough as.
Yeah. And the same with bareback riders. Like, you don't want to fight a bareback rider. Those dudes are, God bless bareback riders, because there is something wrong. There's a screw loose and they love it, man. And I watch those bareback riders. I'm like, nope.
Don't want to do that.
Absolutely not.
It's good to be around people like that, because then you know that's humbling again. You're like, damn, these dudes are tougher.
That's
Like,
a tough son of
a good example.
Yeah.
Right. I want to be like that. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like
Fuck.
that's what just draws me to the rodeo and that community is just everybody's so willing to help the next guy get along or get going or
cool.
just be there for the other guy. Like in bull riding, like I'd get bucked off, or a guy would get bucked off, and he'd be right there helping me pull my rope, like being like, "Hey, man, you know, stay in the middle, be sticky, ride this something."
That's cool.
You know, so that's the part of it that I love.
Yeah.
It's just a great group of people.
I dig it. Well, fellas, we got to wrap this up.
All right.
We're at an hour and 15 minutes.
I know, we
man.
got
I
work to
learned a
do.
lot today.
Yeah.
Thank you, dude. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. Eric and I have been having a lot of philosophical questions.
Yeah.
I had a guy who used to call me philosopher. Philosophy officer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, because I really enjoy having conversations like that. You know,
Yeah.
it's good. And then I love learning about things I don't know about and I didn't know shit about.
Well, you realize how
Bronc
interconnected.
riding and bull riding.
Yeah, you realize how interconnected all that is.
Yeah.
You're right.
To remove it. Like
Everything in life.
you go ride a Bronc, like that immediately removes. To me, it's like jumping out of an airplane. Like skydiving to me was one of the coolest things in the world because everything gets really simple, really fast.
Yeah.
Everything else that you thought matters
Yeah.
doesn't matter for shit. I'm falling at the earth at terminal velocity. Like all of that stuff goes away. It's a very, it can be kind of a spiritual experience, right? And I imagine that it's like, all right, I'm riding a really, really large animal. Everything else doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
Like,
don't die.
Yeah,
You
don't
better
die.
be in that moment
Yes.
fully.
Well, and you
Yes.
have to put it out of your head, like the injuries, like I said before, because so we were at a rodeo in Newport, and a buddy of mine goes out. He's 2 ahead of me, so he bucks his horse out. He gets bucked off, and he goes to the ground, and he just starts standing up, which is not a good idea. Once you get bucked off, like stay in the dirt, let the
Right.
horse get out of there, and then stand up. But he momentum was kind of bringing him up, so he just started standing up, and that horse kicked and caught him right in the side of the head. And
Dude,
put his lights. I mean, it was instantaneous. Like you see him getting up and he's kind of smiling because he's a goofball, and he's like, just went limp and then fell to the dirt.
That's scary.
And like from my perspective, it looked like the horse kicked him in the back of the neck, and so I immediately went to,
Triage, like
Medic mode.
immediate.
yeah, like I don't know if he's coming out of this, and then the sports medicine goes out there and the EMS goes out there and he ends up walking out, but yeah, because it caught him on the side of the face.
Jesus.
And just he had a pretty good raspberry on the side of his face.
Oh,
Good.
he's lucky, man.
I mean,
Damn.
yeah, super lucky. And then that was 2 rides before I was supposed to go out. So then you're like in my head, I'm like,
That's the hardest one to follow.
because you're
Right.
like, ooh, but you gotta you just have to put that out of your head and not think about, because as soon as you start thinking about that, like the worst is going to happen,
What's the visualization the other way?
Exactly.
If you visualize, you're gonna.
If you visualize
get hurt or
negative
fail.
things,
Yeah.
negative things will happen.
Yep.
And so yeah, that's a challenging part of it too. But you just have to put that out of your head and come back to reality. Be like, look, I got to do my job. Doesn't and focus on the positive things instead of that.
Right.
But yeah, I'm up in
I
Ritzville
think the
tonight.
world needs a lot. Tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Well, by the time this comes out, it will already have happened.
That's right.
Yeah. So
Good
we'll see.
follow up.
Good shit, dude. I think there's a lot of importance in focusing on the positive things in life. There's so much negativity out there in the world right now. man, you can get caught up in any number of negative holes to dive
With
into.
all of this, it just seems like there's more opportunity to get caught up in negative. Like negative self-talk, man, that's something I struggle with all the time. It's like seeing the negative part. And it's like a constant reset and reminder to go, okay, all right, whatever's occupying your mind right now, 99 times out of 100, it's not even a fraction as bad as what you perceive or what you think, what you're introducing into your head. So,
and instead of focusing on the negative things that happen during the day, focusing on those small little things that like throughout the day that make you smile. You know, like just the other day, like my kids were doing something, man, I was just like in the moment. I was just like, man, this is awesome. This is awesome. So like hunting for those moments rather than finding the negative things in the day. Cause like those can stack up so fast. Right. So like if you hunt for those things that make you smile during the day, that's the way to go.
Well, and this guy talks about that a lot, where find those challenges, those externals that are causing some of that stress. Think of that like an opportunity to grow and learn from, or better handle that, and reframing your mind to look at it differently. Yes, this is challenging and it does suck right now, but this is a really good opportunity to grow. That way, the next time I see it again, right? And my brain's been.
And you'll never be perfect. Damn it, I'm going to be working on this until the day I die, and I still will never master it. But you just be a little bit better than you were the day before.
That's all you can do.
Hey, I promised. I had Panhandle Preparedness reach out to me, and they were like, "Hey, our thing's coming up. Our expo is coming up. Can you talk about it?" So I told them I would gladly announce it on our podcast. So Panhandle Preparedness Expo, it takes place at the Bonner County Fairgrounds up in Sandpoint. It's going to be Saturday, October 4th, and Sunday, October 5th, 9 to 5 on Saturday, 9 to 3. So it's going to be 2 days of preparedness presentations, demonstrations, and vendor exhibits. I figured I would announce it on here because a lot of our listeners would probably appreciate that. October 4th and 5th, Fairgrounds in Sandpoint, Panhandle Preparedness. Check it out.
Cool.
Austin, thank you, brother.
Yeah,
it's
thanks for having me on.
It's a pleasure having you on the team. Now we can say we're a little bit more country.
A little bit.
No big deal. Look for our brand on your chaps, assless chaps when you're out there riding.
NIE belt buckles, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, you guys got to get some of those.
Yes.
We do. We've been talking about it. We definitely need that. Then we'll be more official.
Yeah. Assless chaps or belt buckles?
Belt buckles.
All right.
Yeah.
Both.
Definitely.
All right.
Better move.
All right. Thank you guys. We will we'll catch you on the next one.
Later.